Hello, my name is Cheyandra Frizzell, and today we will be discussing self-censorship and collection policies in the school library.
My three essential whys for a collection policy are to define the scope and coverage of the collection, provide guidance in the acquisition, processing, and cataloging of materials, and create a public relations document to inform the public of the purposes of the program and collection. And these are all gathered from our textbook by Marcia Martis. The first two have the same why for why I picked them. And that is, I think it would be very easy to get lost in how I choose books unless I have a plan in place, a document that specifically tells me this is the scope and coverage of the collection. This is how we should acquire, process, and catalog materials. And then the third one is, of course, very topical right now with a lot of book challenges going on. And so having this on paper to help in those situations is a great idea. And that's why my three essential whys for a collection policy. So the article that I chose, does deal with self-censorship. And so I wanted to address the problem of self-censorship first. Self-censorship limits access to diverse materials. It undermines intellectual freedom, reinforces biases, and reduces critical thinking. We need to be aware of our biases in order to fight against them and not just reinforce them. So the article I chose was called They're So Stinkin' Popular, How Could You Say No? Graphic Novel Collection Development and School Librarian Self-Censorship. So it dealt with self-censorship in graphic novels. The summary, the gist of the article was that many librarians are unfamiliar with graphic novels and so avoid getting them. Some librarians self-censor without thinking they are self-censoring. They place obstacles to getting the novels via labels or parent permission slips, but sometimes state that they don't self-censor, but that is a form of self-censoring. And the librarians didn't have the time to research them to build up an argument in case of a challenge. And vendors, a lot of librarians felt vendors didn't have accurate levels for the graphic novels when it says like what age range it should go to. For the lessons I learned, students are dealing with tough issues, and being able to explore those issues via text is one of the best ways they could probably do that, or it may be the only way they can do that. Graphic novels in particular are kind of a form of gateway reading, so they're really important to have because it may get more students interested in reading that aren't interested in traditional text. Also, having mature conversations with challengers and just knowing the point of every piece in your library. Self-censorship can directly impact students' lives, and it often happens in the most conservative communities. One self-censor librarian pointed out that they're probably the students that need expression the most, but they are the places that the most censorship goes on because they are in those more conservative communities. In the article Good Books or Books Kids Like, I learned that there is potential frustration that we may not always agree with what is the most popular in our libraries, but that's okay. And knowing that and getting ready for it is important. If it's what students want to read, I really think at least they're reading. If it's what they want to read, then who am I to stop them? And if there's quality books that aren't getting read, then I need to show the appeal. So, like the author said, she read one book that had quality and appeal, and that got a lot of students interested, but they may not have been interested in it if they just saw it on a shelf. But by her reading, she was showing the appeal to them. The impact of this article on my collection development, I think every book should have something going for it, like they say in the article, strive for quality and appeal. If that doesn't happen, it can be quality or appeal, but it should never be neither. Every book should have something going on for it that is important. Here are my references. Thank you for watching my video. This template was created by Slidescope.